the book ends with a really solid point, and so I don't have many notes for you to take there except for the textual one, because what I want you to take away is that cultural studies and cultural rhetorical theory is in addition to these other rhetorical theories. So it's in addition to postmodernism, which we're going to read next, and it's our last chapter. It's in addition to critical studies. It's in addition to feminist studies. It can help us with African rhetorical theory. So cultural studies is all about situating and contextualizing in the study of pop culture texts. So when we go through the example, the book gave us an example at a museum, and after spending so much time talking about low culture, and then I find museums to be high culture, so I didn't love their example. So what I want to talk about instead is Disney outside of the United States. Okay, so there are, even within the United States, I grew up in Arizona. I grew up going to Disneyland. Disneyland is my park. It's the park that I'm comfortable in. I know where the rides are. I've been to Euro Disney, which is in France, and I've been to Disney World and Epcot Center, and I find them weird. They're not my Disney, right? And so when we're talking about cultural studies, me as a member of a culture, as a member of so my membership right now is a person who has attended a Disney theme park. I have specific understanding, but which theme park and where I grew up, and so where I'm comfortable going, is a part of my meaning-making experience. And this is really important for then how, and this is what they're getting at with the museum example, how I situate myself and how I am situated by the theme park. Okay, so if we go with Euro Disney, because I have also been to Euro Disney, I am a gigantic scaredy cat. I do not love I did not, we'll say did not, because I ride them now, but I did not, until I was like 21, ride roller coasters. Gigantic scaredy cat. My 11-year-old, same. It's super fun. So we went to Euro Disney, and I was about 21, and we get in line for the Indiana Jones ride. And here, because I've been to Disneyland, to Disney World, we love the Indiana Jones ride. They're so much fun. So we're standing in line, and there's signs everywhere with, if you're pregnant, don't ride this ride. If you have nausea issues, don't ride this ride. And it's me, my sister, and my dad, and we're all standing in line, and my sister and my dad start to notice that the Indiana Jones ride in Euro Disney, so again, we're in France, is a backward roller coaster with your feet dangling. I didn't notice it, because I'm like, it's Indiana Jones, everything's great, I love this ride, you're in a little car, woohoo, Indiana Jones. And so they slowly start to position themselves in front of me so that I can't see the roller coaster, so that I don't jump out of line. They are helping to, because they're noticing the signs, and the signs helped situate them so that they, as an active audience member, started realizing we should be paying attention to something else that's going on so that we're prepared to deal with Nicole and all of her drama related to roller coasters, we'll just call it that. And so they decided to deal with it by hiding it from me. So then my subject position, because I'm not paying attention to the signs and I'm just chit-chatting away with them, it took me a while to realize like what was going on and why they were being so weird about where they had to stand in relation to other things. Before we get on the ride, I realized it, but there are multiple, and this is what cultural studies is getting at, there are multiple potential readings of this situation. There are my experiences and my experiences with Disney in the United States versus Euro Disney. Euro Disney is made for Europeans, and so there's the European experience and understanding of Disney and the European understanding and experience with theme parks going on with the construction of the Indiana Jones ride and what it is in Euro Disney versus what it is at Disneyland. Then there's my individual experience as a member of my family and what they're doing in all of this and how that impacts my subject position and what information I have available to form my subject position in relation to the texts that I am surrounded by. All of these are available ways to employ cultural studies to understand what is my experience, what is the average just theme park attendees experience with this particular ride, especially because it's constructed so vastly differently from the way it is at other parks. And culturally, we can situate, we can talk through subject positions, and then we can start to understand what experiences are possible, what subject positions are possible. We're not in the business with cultural studies of saying one is right or wrong, or saying that Indiana Jones ride is wrong and it can't exist. That's not the role of cultural studies. The role of cultural studies is to understand what are the available meaning-making practices, and how do we know? What are the available cultures that one larger group, not just one random individual. I know that my fear of roller coasters is one random individual's experience, but you're going to remember it because you're going to be like, haha, Dr. P's afraid of roller coasters. But what is one large group's experience and expectations in this particular situation, and then how do we understand it? That's what they're getting at with that final example, and that's what I want you to take away from this, is that multiple subject positions exist. Multiple ways of understanding exist, and cultural studies allows us to turn all of these experiences into pop culture texts, or take pop culture texts and turn them into rhetorical artifacts for us to analyze, not for what's right or wrong, but for what is a member of that group taking away from it, and what is valuable there, what is understood, why does it matter? Okay?